By mid-April, we're a month into the turkey tour, and the unseasonably cool weather has still yet to release its grip from the Midwest. But despite the late spring and often henned-up gobblers, we're still enjoying some success, and in the last week, we've really got the ball rolling. Ted and Aaron had awesome youth hunts, and in between trips, I got out during Iowa's first season and had an incredible day of hunting as I slipped into the middle of a flock of henned-up gobblers. At the same time, in North Carolina, Zach and Hayden knocked down 3 gobblers, which has us fired up as we all head east to meet up in West Virginia and Ohio for another leg of the turkey tour. But first, Aaron and I are making a pit stop in Kentucky to spend a couple days hunting with our buddy and turkey researcher, Patrick Wightman. We've got one cold morning in the forecast, but beyond that, the weather's supposed to get up into the 70s and 80s. It's finally going to feel like spring, and we're anticipating a lot better hunting conditions than what we've experienced so far on the 2022 turkey tour.
Oh, we're up here now, boy. Shoo, wait. It's possible these things ain't been messed with hardly at all. Who knows?
Oh!
Welcome back to another video, guys. We just made it to Kentucky. Me and Greg are going to be taking Patrick Wightman hunting here. He's one of Mike Chamberlain's PhD students down at University of Georgia. You guys have probably seen him in some of our research videos that we filmed down there with Mike. Patrick is a researcher. He spends all spring doing field work and all kinds of stuff, but he also loves to turkey hunt. And I was like, man, when the heck do you even get time to go? He's like, I'm usually busy studying the birds and I usually don't get time till later in the season. So I said, might as well come hunt with us. He just pulled in. There he is. He made it.
How you been?
Thanks for making the trip.
Absolutely.
Are you stoked to finally get out?
Yeah, I was
do some hunting?
telling Greg my eyes were burning from the computer screen, so.
I know there's turkeys around here.
Look at right here.
Yeah, I mean, there's,
This is old. You said that's fresh over there.
yeah, there's leaves over there that are turned up just today. This is big woods.
There's a battle. Everyone I talked to said just get on if you can get on the same ridge with them, then you're in business. It's just getting there.
Yep.
So it's just trying to get an idea of predicting where gobbling activity was the highest and where it kind of stayed strong throughout the entirety of the season, during and after hunting. So like, essentially, if you think about it like a bunch of light bulbs, right? Like, season starts and you got all these ARUs on the landscape and gobbling activity is pretty bright, and then as the season goes on, you can imagine that they start to dim, and
But
you get just certain
stay.
pockets that stay lit. And so the idea was, can we figure out where those
And can you
pockets
see if
are.
there's hunters in those pockets?
Yeah, well, we have a pretty good idea on how to predict hunter activity just based on distance to roads, distance to access, distance to private property. Those were the main predictors. No shocker there. And then we had all the GPS units on coyotes too, so we were trying to get an idea of looking at where coyotes were heavily using the landscape in the same area and during the daytime, obviously, and trying to get an idea of if that influenced, if there was any correlation, like areas where we would expect coyote activity to be high, gobbling activity to be less, but we didn't.
Interesting. So that's kind of what I'm hoping is that if you can hear some gobbling, ideally they'd be right here in this hole and we can just go kill it. But from this bench, we should be able to hear them gobbling on that ridge unless they're over it.
Sure. Which it did sound like, but it was back there.
Which one do you want to go to, Patrick? We'll split up. You can go to one and I'll go to the other and vice versa.
Should drop your pin. Almost sounded short.
Yeah.
Sounded like it might have been a Jake gobble. That didn't sound like a Jake.
Not that time.
Sounded like one was closer to this side of that, and one might have been over there. That bird sounded like he might have been on top.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Gobbling tonight, that's a good sign. My experience, if they gobble like that in the evening, they're going to say something in the morning unless the weather changes drastically or something boogers them in the night. But
how many y'all here?
I don't know, two or three.
2 or 3, yeah.
Not right on top of each other, but they're all probably on the same finger or across. You know, there's a little bend. They might be on both sides of it. One sounded like he was on top of that finger, like right on top of it, right there.
Right on that knob, close to where I got it.
Yes.
And that thing about that bowl over there where those turkeys are roosted is it's on the downwind side. Like all this wind's coming in from the west, and I would assume that they're going to go and they're going to spend a bunch of time in that bowl, but I don't know.
How are we going to get to that bowl?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting in the morning because we're going to be gomming down through these woods below camp in the dark, well before daylight, trying to get up to where they herd these turkeys tonight. But I'm not complaining. It's not often that we just pull into a spot and say, this looks like a good spot to camp, and then all of a sudden,
Happened before. Indiana,
yeah,
camp bird.
Did happen in Indiana.
Tennessee, camp bird.
Baby. Oh, shoot, we did get a camp bird in Tennessee, didn't we?
Yeah, in 2020.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a Kentucky camp bird.
That would be
Patrick.
nice. Would be nice.
We'll find out tomorrow. We're going to hit the hay. Surely I got enough clothes on. We get to walking though here up the side of this big ridge, and we're going to get warm real quick. They ought to be ripping this morning. You guys heard these turkeys and they weren't that far from this road, but in order to get above them in that bowl that they're in, we've got to go make a big loop. So we got to drop down through this creek and then navigate in the dark up around these bluffs. I would assume they're going to go away from the road.
Yeah, most likely.
But you never know how the day goes. Let's go find out. There he was. Were they in the tree initially when we first got up here?
When we first got up here, they were in the tree.
Were they? Dang, they sounded like they were just right there.
Like we talked about last night, I think they just, now they're on the ground, they pitched to the other side of it. I mean, that don't mean they're not going to funnel this, work their way back this way. I'm
sure they got hens with them.
Yeah. I mean, with that fresh scratching being back there, can't help but think they might be working this way.
The closest one answered me the first time I yelped, and I was not being very loud at all.
Yeah, I thought we were in business after that.
He answered me and then he didn't gobble, so a couple of birds may have peeled off of that group and may be sliding this way just quiet. But that's why I called down there, so they'll pop out on the end of it.
That's a nice stage down there if they do it. They get up in here and equal with us, we're going to be in trouble. But
at some point today, they'll make a mistake and we can jump in there on them. I'm going to fall off again. back down there and try calling again here in a second. That's closer. Aaron picked a good time to go do his business. Right. Patrick, can you hear drumming? Not yet. Okay, I thought maybe I heard drumming. Where was that? Down below? Down below. Drumming. He's to our right. Okay. I can't tell though for sure. Yeah, I hear it. Yep. Got drumming right here off to our right. Okay. I'm just watching your gun barrel. Wherever you point, I'll be filming there. Okay, it sounds like it's coming. Out up here. He's definitely coming. Yep. boy, Patrick. That a boy? Yeah. Absolutely beautiful morning.
Beautiful. That's just what I talked about, that fan coming up over the ridge.
You got him on camera?
Oh yeah. Yes, sir.
Doesn't get no better than that, boys.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Fellas. I dropped off they hadn't said nothing forever. I dropped off and called down there, and I didn't hear nothing. And nature was calling, so I was like, well, now's no better time than now. So I dropped back in there, and I was just getting ready to start walking up here. Bow. And I was like, that was way closer than they were earlier. And I looked up here, and both of you guys are shimmying around, like getting ready and stuff. I was like, uh-oh. Dude, they pinpoint that sound so accurately. That first, they only answered me one time. And they were clear over to the top of that next ridge when they did.
Then it was over by the time they got in there. Scratched the leaves, a little soft
Yeah.
and I was
Patrick and I just told him, I was like, I'm dreaming of a bird coming up the ridge, backlit. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the fan was back. Yeah, I hope you got good footage of it, because it sure was pretty.
Yeah, it was
I just
awesome.
got some footage off my phone. I was just filming y'all up here sitting at that tree. Like, we were just listening to Mike Pentecost talk yesterday on that podcast. And that's what he told me that one time we were hunting in these hills down in Alabama. He's like, man, you get one to gobble, answer you. They fly down, don't say much, just sit back, drink your water, eat your snacks. He said, just relax. Because you never know when they could be coming to you.
When we saw that scratch, and we had a good feeling that they were working this way.
Yeah. It's just crazy how well they can pinpoint that sound in like an hour later or whatever. Because I'm sure that's what happened. He heard that.
Oh, they were coming right where you said.
And they were coming right to that spot. And they just weren't gobbling on the way in. He just gobbled the one time, and then he also could have been with them hens and had heard us right here and said, well, while I got my eyes on them, I'm going to go up here and swoop up another one. And that's why he started gobbling when he got closer. It's because he knows that I should be right here somewhere where I'd called last. It's crazy how sometimes they'll do that.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, you get one that does that, and you get one that just burns it up all the way to you. I think there he is. Oh yeah, look at that.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Here
man, he is just marching up there.
Yeah, and he drops in it again.
Oh dude, that is. Oh.
Oh, that was good.
That was good. That was good.
I love it. Nobody that doesn't want to share that with everybody. I don't understand. I don't understand the selfishness. I want everybody to see that.
Yeah, man.
I want everybody to be able to experience it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Little bench right here.
You know, a lot of times they come in there periscoping because they ain't.
Yeah, he was comfortable
looking. He was totally.
And you could tell that when he came out of strut and took those extra however many steps right to us, and then back into strut.
Yeah.
Then I just had to let it out.
Gosh, yeah. How old is that turkey?
Yeah, I'll tell you how old he is. He's an adult, mature, boys. Yeah, for you guys out there that keep grabbing him by the spurs and saying, "Oh, that's a for sure 3-year-old," stop doing that, please.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no way of knowing. I'll tell you what, we had one that was about 6 years old that had smaller spurs than this. About the same. They were about the same, probably.
Yeah.
So you just never know. I've seen 2-year-olds with bigger spurs.
The fascinating thing with these things is that do they remember? They have to.
Oh, the pinpointing, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. I don't know. They perceive the landscape in a way that we can't understand. They hear and are so familiar with their environment that we can't comprehend it. It has to be.
Yeah.
They're very in tune to what's going on and where things are. And I try to tell myself that as a hunter, it's like, be patient. Now sometimes it's 3, 4, 5 hours, which I don't have that ability in me most times. I try to tell myself
that is a long time.
But I think that they do remember that. I really do. I think like when they're henned up and they go somewhere and then you get that midday, you know, they're like, you know what, that hen was over there calling. Let me go back there and just check.
Yeah.
I mean, you see that. Yeah, we see it with the data.
I've seen them do that with live hens.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen a live hen come up to a knob like this, yelping and whatnot, and you hear a gobbler just answering 400 yards away. And 2 hours later, he's standing on that same spot.
Yep.
All right, here's what happened this morning. Turkeys were roosted over here, over the top of this next ridge. They were only like 500-600 yards in from the road. But in order to get above these turkeys and up at the top of this bowl away from the road, we had to make a big loop around them. We walked like 1.5 miles down through the creek and then up to this saddle up above them. We were standing on that saddle right at first light when these turkeys started gobbling. And they were 400 or 500 yards away on this little finger ridge down here. So we dropped down into that bowl and immediately started finding scratching, and realized as it was getting lighter that we had this little ridge in between us and them. So we used the topography to our advantage and just carved around the edge of this bowl here and up to this point. The whole time the turkeys are gobbling on the limb, and we have not made a sound up to that point. Once we got to this ridge and they're hammering down in there, where we realized we couldn't get any closer just because these woods are so open, and we really took our time at that point trying to fine tune our setup before we even called. Patrick and Greg moved up the hill there to the spot where he eventually shot the turkey from, picked a spot. I looked back at their hide from the turkey's perspective, and then I called right here on this ridge. I mean, you can see my little trail where I crawled up through these leaves right here because I didn't want to booger them. That ridge is just right over there. I mean, I can see the point of it right now. It's 250 yards away, and I can see, you know, the ground over there. So if those turkeys are standing over there and I'm gomming around the tip of this ridge calling, there's a chance they could have seen me. But anyway, I came up here, they were set up pointing down the ridge, and I made that first call and they answered it just right over top of that hill. And then I proceeded to back off into this bowl, calling back and forth in here, just trying to sound like a hen, kind of scratching and feeding around the top of this bowl, if you will. And those things didn't say nothing for 45 minutes. And then all of a sudden, pow, they gobbled right there. And you could hear them drumming, and Patrick had to finish them off with some light calling and scratching up there to get them to pop up here on the ridge and give him a shot. But the point is they pinpointed that sound. That first sound that they heard was very critical in killing these turkeys and really fine-tuning our setup. We never moved. Once we decided on where the heck to set up, it was just a game of patience at that point and letting them do their thing. And that's about all the further we could get, because when we got up here, I was getting nervous real quick. I'm like, man, they're gobbling right there. They ain't far. And then we just let turkeys be turkeys. Well, we're getting ready to hit the road, head to West Virginia. Got in a quick hunt with Patrick this morning, paid off.
Absolutely.
Nice Kentucky long beard. But I appreciate you coming and meeting up with us, man.
Thanks for the invite.
It was a joy to hunt with you.
Thanks for everything you guys are doing to promote turkey research. We really appreciate it.
We're just the guys who run around the woods with the camera. You guys are the ones doing all the actual work. That's what's real important to us. And that's another ironic thing. We just happen to be able to meet in Kentucky to hunt with you, but we've got that Kentucky research fundraiser that we've had going all spring, and we're almost at the goal. By the time this video comes out, we may have hit the goal. I'll post on the screen right now where we're at. I'm really hoping we can get that thing kick-started, get this thing going for next spring. This Kentucky study is going to be doing a lot of the same stuff that you guys have done in Georgia and that we're also doing in Alabama right now.
Correct.
That we helped fund last year.
Yep, my understanding is that this will be a full-blown project with sound recorders to mimic what we're doing, have been doing in Georgia and Alabama.
Yep. Collect gobbling data,
reproductive data, which is important for the management agencies here in Kentucky to figure out with the use of the GPS units when their birds are actually incubating. I believe they're going to be doing genetic testing, disease work, so it's going to be a big overall encompassing
comprehensive study.
Yep.
Yeah. Very cool. We want to keep funding this research so we can keep guys like Patrick employed. We got to keep these guys at work. These guys are looking out in
a lot
the
of
best.
questions, a lot of questions to answer still.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Tough
there
ones
is,
left.
But I feel like y'all are the right people to do it, and I really appreciate how hard you guys work at this. You and Mike and all the other students involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah, appreciate you guys watching this video. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. We sure did. Now we're gonna go take a nap and get on the road.